Hey, welcome back to the channel. I guess it's weekly update time, and that's usually a good time for me to do it, to come over here and shoot a video on the weekends, besides a few shorts throughout the week here and there. But we've usually got 2, 3, 4 projects and a couple big projects moving through the shop on a weekly basis, so gives us a kind of a good view of what has come through the shop, and a lot of it's repeat stuff, but I don't mind doing repeat videos because a lot of you guys haven't seen our other videos or how we're doing things. So we've got a sampling of kind of mini split installs, framing, garage door, and a walk door over here. All three to show you. So it's a real good sample of real common mods that we do every day. So let's flip around and start taking a look at these. All right, let's start with pretty typical 8-foot garage door install. This is a 40-foot one trip high cube. And I've kind of gone over this as well, but there's a lot of these quote new containers floating around in the market that are not new. So if you're buying a new one trip container, make sure it's a year manufacturer of like 2023, 2024. Most of the new ones at this point are 2024. If they're like 2022, 2021, they are not new containers. They would be IICL, and they should be a fair amount less money, i.e. 10% or more is what I'd be looking for if the container wasn't brand new. So for us in this market, this is about a $5,000 container. If this were IICL, be $4,400, $4,500, and it'd probably be red or blue, or it'd be ivory, and it would have dents and dings on it, and you could tell that the paint's maybe a little bit more aged and so on. So like I said, this is a pretty typical install for us. Here's the corrugation we cut out. This door went right in the center. Now, a lot of your strength of a container is the corrugation in the sidewall, although a lot of the strength is focused in the corner castings. The sidewall corrugation is still main strength of the container. So we shim these up when we cut this hole because that will drop slightly. So we shim that, and then once we get the garage door frame back in, we could take these shims out now, and this will no longer drop. It transfers the load through the corrugation, through the post, back into the container. When we do bigger doors, or we cut the entire sidewall out, we have to get into center posts or I-beams on top to start transferring loads elsewhere. But you can do an 8 or 10 foot or 12 foot door and not have any structural issues to deal with on something like this. So here's we use a 2x2 tube on this. We use 2x3 on walk doors, 2x3 on windows, 2x2 typically on garage doors, 2x1.5. Get your tracks in a little bit more, so it gets you a little bit more throw on the door, but 1.5 inches is just not quite heavy duty enough for a garage door install. And we do a white seal with a white door. We've got black seals as well. We always use these seals on the side for shedding water, insulation, all types of things like that. But I want to show you the seal on the bottom that we've started using, and I like it a lot, and it glues down and it stays put. But your door comes right here, and this gives you a slope and a rubbery seal here, and the garage door has a rubber seal on the bottom. So your rubber seal hits here, and this yellow line kind of shows you where the garage door denotes where the garage door should come down. So this gives you an angle out here to shed water as well, and then we've got this seal here so the water runs this way and out. The other way to do this is with metal, but I like this rubber seal better for several different reasons. As we look at this door, a 2x2 tube gives you a perfect landing area for your garage door brackets. This is an 8-foot wide by 7-foot tall door. If you want to go taller than 7 feet, you can do that in a high cube, but you cannot do it with a sectional door because the container is 8 feet wide, and you can see we're already pretty much maxed out on throwback. So if this door was any taller, it just doesn't have room to open. So if you want to go over 7 feet, you need to use the coiling door, which looks corrugated and it rolls up into a coil up top. Those are cheaper and easier to install than sectional doors. But I like the sectional doors better for several different reasons. They're more secure, a little bit heavier duty, more wind resistant. The coiling doors are fine. They use them in a lot of applications. There's nothing wrong with them. But if you need more height on your door, then you have to go with a coiling door unless you have more than one container put together. So there's your garage door install, and if everything's adjusted properly, you should just be able to kind of pull it down with one finger. It should not take much effort to operate it. And cold is going to be where it's hard to push up, and hot's going to be where it slams down. So those are your adjustments, cold and hot. Here you can see the shipping container casters. We welded these casters to the shipping container clamps. Those are the same clamps we use for like removable decks. This allows us to push this container around with a hand inside the shop. So those are pretty handy. MyTee is a good company to get those from, MYTEE. They make up a lot of shipping container parts, lock boxes, handles, corner castings, all kind of parts, and they've got a lot of that stuff on Amazon, so it's MyTee products. Here's a typical 36-inch walk door. So we, at this point, we're doing about I'd say we install a walk door almost every single day. People really just like the walk door. For getting in and out, it's a lot more convenient than the cargo doors. It does add some safety as far as if someone were in the container, they can get out of the walk door versus the cargo doors. So this is a 36 by 80. I do sell these kits. They're $750 for the door and the frame and the hardware, and that's all put together. And the thresholds and seals, all this stuff here. And so you can loose carry that, and then I will walk over to this other container and kind of show you how the walk door goes in. So we do sell the walk door frame, door, and kit, and we also do just sell the slabs. So the slab would be just the door itself, and that's a fire rated door. So here would be the frame and the door assembled. And so the kit would come with the seals, hardware, threshold, and if you wanted just the slab, it would be just the door slab, and then you could build your own frame. So here's what a walk door install looks like. We go about an 1/8 inch over, and we cut these with a skinny cutting wheel. Gives you a nice straight edge. And usually we've got a pencil line, we're aiming for that pencil line. And if we have to grind anything, it's maybe a 1/16 or 32nd of an inch. But we don't use marker or tape or anything like that. So that's what it's going to look like. Get the door in there, and your corrugation is usually pretty straight. So if you're straight on the corrugation, i.e. you see the same distance here as you do here, then all this is going to be pretty straight and plumb. This one's also getting two 48 by 36 windows. It's getting framing, and I almost did it to myself. When you cut holes out of a container, these D-rings will trip you all day. And we keep these D-rings, we cut them off, but I can't tell you how many times I've tripped on these D-rings. So we keep those D-rings for window shutters, for the locking mechanism and a couple other things, but those D-rings are welded down here, and they're for straps when they're shipping cargo across the ocean. You can see the D-rings here. We also use those D-rings to hang shelves on. So here you can see the window frames are installed. The frames in the door we use 2x3, not 2x2. And when we frame an insulated container, we always leave the indoors operable. So I'm going to run outside and show you guys the kind of U-shaped office we've been working on for a few months. We always kind of bounce back and forth between projects. So we haven't had everybody out here every day, but it looks like we're about to wrap this puppy up. So it's 220s bolted to it's kind of uncommon, like a 12 by 30 specialized unit. And they're going to stick with ivory. So we had to patch all this back in to make the 20s up here. And you can see we're painting now. So this whole thing is going to be ivory. So it's starting to look a lot better, like it's actually something that goes together. The red looked hideous. And I will do a quick buzz through here. So we converted this from a couple window units and a P-tack to a couple of mini splits. But I will do a quick walkthrough here. All right, this is sort of the executive area. It's got shiplap. We're doing the wiring now, about to wrap up on the wiring. So this is like the quote nicer executive management area. We're installing the coin flooring at this point. Now the floor is not perfect. The customer knows this isn't going to look perfect because the floor underneath is just not that great, but I think it looks pretty good, and we get our seams and everything pretty much perfect, so we're just going to start gluing this down now. That was a factory window there, so this had a big steel crazy door, and it's kind of an odd opening, so we had a special order a door for this. This is going to have a tankless water heater, so we've got power in here for that. We've got to put an exhaust fan in there, and we've got the plumbing exit, so that's your bathroom. Here's one mini split. The other mini split was back there in that other executive office, and we're going to have some fans to circulate air, TVs, all kinds of stuff, and then this is sort of the break room employee mail area, which is OSB instead of shiplap. So you can see where these containers bolt up. There'll be a seal in there. We'll bolt them together, and then they get Sikaflex on the outside. And I think we're going to do like a stainless or galvanized strip of metal on the top as well. So the only coin flooring we have left to do, which is typically like a bus or airport floorings, but it's super durable, is this section here. And we usually don't floor over one trip container floors because they're pretty nice. And then we have this floor here to do. You can see this one trip floor looks really nice, but they just want the coin flooring throughout the entire unit for consistency. So that's it for this week's projects. Let me know if you got any questions or anything, and have a good week.